All I can see was your name.
Good. All right, guys, we got Derrick Brown here joining us. Everyone should start recording access. We're all good. Miles, you want to start us off with the first one?
Sure. Derek, how's it going, man? Hope you had a decent weekend. What is something that you feel like you have to do, and maybe you don't feel like you need to do anything at all, but to try to avoid that proverbial rookie wall as you get into the second half of your first season now as a pro?
I got to rely on the vets. I mean, that was my biggest thing coming in. They whenever you get here, they tell you like, hey, like we want to do everything we can to keep y'all from hitting this rookie wall. And I'm not gonna lie, like personally myself, I'm obsessed with trying to get to the next thing and trying to win. So I mean, I don't even think about it, like it's week 8, but like that comes as a surprise to me because I'm like, man, like during the season, like all I know is we got a game next week, and I know what my next game is, but I'm focused on the task at hand.
Let's go to David Newton and then Jason Huber.
Hey, Derrick. Hope you had a good weekend off. I wanted to ask you, what did you know about Jeremy Chin before you guys became teammates, and what's been your impression since?
I heard a little bit of noise about him at the combine. I didn't know much about him before then, but obviously he's a baller, man. It's just coming in and playing with him. As a guy that's got high effort every single play. I mean, he's running to the ball, doing things, and it's something that they always talk about. The excitement of coming in with guys that do it in your class, and the draft class that we had. We got a lot of guys playing right now, so. I think, just Jeremy, me, those other guys, setting the tone. I mean, I think it's, exciting to go in and week out and be able to, compete with one another.
Hey, Derek. Hope you're doing well. I know last time we spoke to you a few weeks ago was, we spoke with you guys about how the sacks hadn't been coming yet. And there's still, you guys are getting a lot of pressure, but those sacks aren't coming. And for you haven't had a sack yet, but you've gotten the pressures. How has it been kind of like on your mind that, you want to get your first sack here and there? And how close do you feel like you guys individually and as a team are getting there?
It's a lot of millions between that quarterback and myself. So, those guys get paid a lot of money to make sure we don't get back there. And, going against the Drew Brees and the Tom Brady's in our division, Matt Ryan, it's not an easy job. I mean, they're very smart. So, I mean, then they don't want to give up a sack. So, I mean, it's just, developing a rush plan in the beginning of the week and being able to sit down and, identify your keys when you're on the field. And, it's something that I've just had to get better at week in and week out. So, I mean, I'm looking for that one, but, when it comes, it'll be special.
Let's go to Skylar Callahan and then Jonathan Alexander.
Hey, Derek, how would you assess your play through the first half of the season? And then just kind of, have you had that moment yet to where you've been able to kind of soak it all in and realize, like, hey, I'm here playing in the NFL? Have you had that moment yet?
I think, the first question, my play, I don't think it's been, I think I've gotten better each week. But, I don't think I've been necessarily all the way consistent. So, I'm just, I try not to look at certain things and, this or that, but, just from going off myself and, sitting down with my coach and talking, that's the biggest thing I'm looking for right now, being able to be consistently dominant and stop showing flashes. And what was the second part?
It was just about, have you had that moment yet of realizing like that you're here playing in the NFL?
I mean, yeah, I kind of had that moment week 1, but I mean, now, it's a prideful thing. I mean, you're going against guys that's been here 10, 12 years playing in the league, 5 plus 6, 7, all the way up to then, every single week. So, I mean, I don't really have time to be starstruck anymore, but, it's definitely something that, I wake up and I'm like, wow, like, I just played an NFL game.
Hey, Derek, I hope you're doing well. 2 questions for you. First, I think we just learned that Rasul Douglas will be coming off the COVID-19 list. And if he's able to play, how does he help? And I'll ask a second one after this.
I think Rasul's, a great addition to our defense. With him and DJ, Troy Prize, Stanley, all those guys, being versatile and being able to jump in for one another when something happens. I mean, that's been the best thing about it to me. I mean, I just think we got great guys playing in the secondary, to be honest.
And kind of weird question, but not really. what's most important for you in the way you live your life or go about your life?
What do you mean by that?
Like what are the most important things? Like, how do you, when you think about how you want to be remembered in anything that you do, what's the most important thing?
You know, I'm a guy that puts my family first, and you know, I think that's the most, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I do all I do for my kids. So I mean, I think, you know, I want to be remembered as that guy.
Let's go to Sharon Thorsland and then Joe Person.
Derrick, I know that you said you've already sort of had your welcome to the NFL moment, but what goes through your mind when you think about facing Patrick Mahomes this week? I mean, what's it going to be like going against him, and what makes him so special?
I mean, his ability to be able to move around the pocket and find guys open, and he's a playmaker even when the play is dead. And you know, like I said, you know, these quarterbacks don't want to give up these sacks. So I mean, it just makes the job 10 times harder. So, you know, going into the week, you have to have the rush plan. You got to be able to sit down and identify this stuff, and you know, you got to be able to use all the keys that you can in order to, you know, make that time between you and them a lot shorter.
Hey, Derrick, I was actually going to ask about Mahomes too, but since you answered that, I'll ask you kind of how the Halloween giveaway went, and are you planning to do some more charitable stuff here with your, and do you have a foundation yet?
Yeah, so I have my foundation. I put it under my name, the Derrick Brown Foundation. So we did the Halloween giveaway. It went great. Wish I could have been out there and, you know, been able to see it myself. But, you know, I had somebody out there for me. And, you know, it's been great. You know, this month we're aiming to do something for the veterans this upcoming month, November 11th. Gonna try to have a luncheon and, you know, have some keynote speakers. You know, the veterans thing is a big thing for me. My dad served in the Army. So, you know, that's something that hits home close to me.
All right, we have time for one more, so let's go to David Newton before we wrap it up. David, you need to unmute yourself.
Sorry. What's the difference in preparing for a guy like Mahomes and when y'all were preparing for Kyler Murray in week 2? Because they both scramble around a lot. What is the difference?
I mean, you think of the same aspects as quarterbacks, being able to make plays with their feet, being able to throw the ball very well, and you know, just becoming that ability to make 2 plays in one. You know, when you watch the tape, you got to see, you know, where they want to escape, all these different things, because, you know, you have to plan for that stuff, because if you don't, then, you know, they're going to have a field day. And at the end of the day, you know, it's all based on performance. So, you know, that's, you got to be able to limit what happens to you.
All right, guys, we got to let him go. Derrick, we appreciate you taking the time.
Appreciate it, Preston.